So we are waiting. We're live. God morning, family. Welcome to the live streaming from the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living in beautiful downtown Pasadena, the Playhouse Village, Pasadena, California, USA. We're so happy to see all of you here and also to just feel the hearts that are live streaming wherever you are. If you are in the local area and you're in your PJamas right now, you might want to throw on some clothes and come on down because it's Friends and Family Day here at Ahiah, and we are going to break bread and have a little bit of fellowshipping after service. I'm Reverend Michael, assistant minister here, your guide on the side. Happy to welcome you all, facilitate our opening. Want to introduce to you our musical inspiration, Connie Rouse in the house with Sister Karen. Let's give them some love. Indeed. And our Sunday band, we've got Leon Johnson on the bass. Leon. And Brother Brian Menifee holding up percussions, holding the rhythms in the corner. And Genghis Yalkaya is tickling the keyboards today. Genghis, welcome home. Always glad to see you, my friend. Indeed, indeed. And we are just going to have God's party today. I'm telling you, it is already done. I really love that meditation, Reverend Scott. Thank you so much. I think that this topic, passion and purpose, I think is such a powerful memory for us to be aware of. That there is a passion, something that makes our hearts sing, planted in us, even, I think, before our birth. I think even before we even knew our own name, that this beloved one knew our name, it knew our purpose, it knew that special passion that it had placed in us today. And we know around here that what's talked about comes about, so we're talking about passion today. And the wisdom talk is passion points to purpose. Wow, say that really fast, right? Peter Piper picked the peck, pick one. But it's true. Passion does point to purpose. And Reverend Scott, our senior minister, he is going to deliver the wisdom talk and ask me if I want to do a power talk, and I'm always saying yes. I say yes. So I'll do a little power talk just to, we do this dance. We never practice, we never rehearse, but Spirit always downloads exactly what's needed for today. And our beloved youth leader, facilitator, teacher, lover, Lisa Ortiz. She's a licensed practitioner. She's going to do the invocation and the inspirational reading for us today. Let's give Lisa some love, shall we? And she awakens the passion and the purpose in our youth tribe. And they are an amazing, amazing cohort of young leaders. You'll get a chance to meet them. They're still on fire from camp, and they are just amazing. We're so fortunate. And so let's get God's party started, shall we? I think we can start off with a congregational. That'd be one way, yeah. Let's try that. That should work. So we're going to do the congregational Use Me. And if you have ever been to Agape or seen Agape online, it's one of the Agape songs from Ricky B. Make it happen. Please stand, Ahiah Mass Choir.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you. Show me all that I must do. show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Good morning. Please join me. Close your eyes if you're comfortable, and let's go within. And let's take a collective deep breath together, inhaling all the love that God is, that this community is. And on the exhale, I invite you to release all that came before this moment and brought us to this point today. And perhaps we no longer need, so we can just say goodbye and thank you. I recognize the one power, one presence, and one mind that is ever expanding and expressing in, through, and each one of us. I know I am one with this power, this love, this knowing that and I know that for myself, I know it for the entire Ahiah community and beyond. I'm so grateful for this community. I'm grateful for this morning's service, knowing the message is always divinely guided and exactly what we need to hear. I'm grateful for our congregation and all the friends and family that are joining us today. And I know that this morning's service is blessed, and I give thanks to our ministers, Reverend Scott Olson and Reverend Michael Lattimore, and the musicians and all the volunteers and everybody that brought food, and last but not least, our amazing youth. So for this and so much more, I say thank you to Spirit, and I release these words, knowing it is done, and so it is. I forgot my glasses. I'm going to suffer through it unless someone has readers really fast. Thank you. That's a good place to keep them. So this morning I'm reading from 365, Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. And I'm reading from May because I thought it fit better. I turn my thought to joy, which I know is vibrating through all life, through my own being and in my innermost mind and heart. I reach deep into infinite being and hear the song of gladness that sings through all manifestations of life. I know that it also sings in me as I give it expression. I feel the throb of life in all the harmony of form around me, in tree and flower and grass, in blue sky and clouds, in the beauty of evening sunset, wherever I look. I hear and feel the underlying joyous note that life sings and that comes to its culmination in spirit made manifest through each human being. Now, deep within my innermost being, I attune myself to the God-conscious being that I truly am. I permit God's perfect idea of me to manifest, to flow forth into expression. I know that God's perfect expression, cannot contain grief, sadness, inharmony. I know that in my true self, I am joy, that I am God life. My life is buoyant, vivacious, sparkling, and free. It contains all good. It is unity, perfection, love, and so I know that nothing can make me, the real me, be sad or dejected or heavy-hearted. I always like to personalize it, and so what's the name of your talk title exactly?
Purpose or passion leads to purpose.
Passion leads to purpose.
Points to purpose.
Points to purpose. Yes. So the beginning of this week, I'm having some challenges lately. So at the beginning of this week, I thought about that, and I thought, I'm just going to do the reading and the prayer. I got nothing about that, about passion. And then I was thinking about it again last night, and then I love when this happens, and it happens for me quite often, is I woke up this morning, and I had a story in my head, and I didn't connect it, though, to this at all. I just thought, that's weird that I'm thinking about this. And then eventually I was like, oh, okay, thank you, universe. You gave me something to say. And I just wanted to talk about my grandfather for a second, and that all the adults in my life, what I learned about him from the adults in my life is that he was full of regret, that he would have wanted to live his life over, that he hated himself, that he wasn't a good father, and he wasn't a good husband, and his son was killed in a motorcycle accident when he was 18. And then my grandfather retired early in his early 50s, and we all moved to Oregon to live on a farm, and he came to live with us. And from the minute I was born, I was his shadow, and he would call me pal, and just, come on, pal. And, you know, he'd make pancakes, singing, Open the Door, Richard, for the Pied Pipers and Johnny Mercer. And he was just a character. And so we had this farm, we had animals, and a garden like the size of this congregation, because it was self-sustaining. And he knew how to can, having lived in the Midwest. He grew up in Wakarusa, Kansas. And what I remembered this morning as I followed him around, we would get up at daybreak and we'd head to the animals first. And there was goats and horses and cows and chickens and a pig, and we would feed everybody, make sure they're all clean. He used to have this big jar. If anybody's from a farm, you probably know what it is, of this purple medicine. So if anyone had a scuff or a cut, they'd get purple medicine, including my own knees a lot of times. And his hands were always stained purple. There was purple everywhere. So that was always a big memory. And then we would tend the garden, and the state of Oregon used to give him 300 quail and pheasant eggs every spring for us to incubate and then turn loose. So we would do that. This is why I don't eat eggs. So we would do that. And then we had a little orchard of fruit trees. And what I remember is, when I think of him on a summer day, is that he would wear his blue shorts that I think he had for 50 years, and a big straw hat, and he was always whistling, and every single chore we did, he told me everything about it and why it was important, and the respect and love of the animals, and the forest that we lived near, because we would go up that way and look for deer tracks, and the fruit in the garden that brought so much to us. And he loved fishing. So we often went on excursions. We were always looking, we would drive in the Siskiyous, looking down like 200 feet at the Rogue River, trying to find that perfect spot where the trout were. How we would get down there was a whole nother thing, but we were always up there looking for it. And then when we would find a place, he would put me upstream. I mean, I don't know why, my casting wasn't that bad, but I was always like up there. So, the point being, that man was full of passion, and his passion absolutely had purpose. And one of those purposes was me, because without him, I wouldn't be here. Thank you.
Passion and purpose. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and ask our singers to come on up, Connie and Karen. And it's so good to see you guys. It's so good to have Friends and Family Day. Now, who brought a friend, or who is here for the very first time that just came by yourself? Yeah? All right. Do you all have blue tickets? If not, then raise your hand and Dorothy will get you a blue ticket, because we're going to have a drawing afterwards, okay? And if you don't, and if she hasn't gotten to you now, go ahead and grab her right after service, and she'll give you a ticket too. All right. So this is a great opportunity. I think we have one here, Dorothy, with Jackie Penn. Yeah. All right. So This is a great opportunity to just turn and wave to the people that are around you. Give them all a lovely Ahiah welcome. We don't have to, hug or anything, but we do get to show our love and the love for all the people around us here at Ahiah. Okay. All right, Connie, take it away.
Thank you very Reverend Scott. Good morning, Ahiah. My beautiful dear friend Karen Golan and I are very happy to be here this morning. Happy Family and Friends Day. Yeah, so when I think about, I was thinking about the monthly theme and the talk, and thinking about passion and purpose. And one of the things that came to mind to me, for me, was our passion and our purpose around loving and supporting and helping one another, lifting one another up. I see it in I work for a nonprofit, and I see it in the work that they do with the homeless and the veterans and with recovery people. I also see it here at Ahiah and all that you do and the way you support the community and you support each other. And that just feels really, really wonderful to me. So we'd like to share a song, a message to the world about supporting and each other through passion and purpose.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, just try. Take a little time out of your busy day to give encouragement to someone who's lost the way. Just try. Would I be talking to a stone if I ask you to share a problem that's not your own? No. We can change things if we start giving. Why don't you reach out and touch somebody's hand? Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, just try. If you see an old friend on the street and he's down, remember his shoes could fit your feet. Just try. Try a little kindness and you'll see it's something that comes very naturally. Oh, yeah. Oh, we can change things if we start giving. Why don't you reach out and touch somebody's hand? Ba-ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba. Oh, ba-ba-da-ba, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Touch somebody's hand, y'all. This world a better place. Oh, if you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Why don't you reach out now? Make this world a better place. Oh, if you can, reach Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can.
Yes. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Karen. It's a beautiful message, isn't it? Reach out, touch someone, make this place a better place. I think that's what we're all charged with a little bit. It's all a little bit of our purpose, is to make this place a better place. So, the theme for this month is my passion, my purpose. I think I'm getting a little bit of feedback, Frederick, so maybe turn the house down just a little bit. Yeah. All right, that sounds better. Okay, so last week we had the practitioners. It was Practitioner Day, and it was wonderful. The practitioners did everything. I didn't have to do a thing. Well, I did the announcements, but besides that, it was a great day for me. I enjoyed the messages that they brought. They shared about the passion that they have for themselves, for their practitioner life, the life they live. Because being a practitioner is not really about the license. You get a license when you're a practitioner, but it's not about being licensed. It's about living as a practitioner. It's about taking this philosophy and putting it into place in your life. It's about growing from that place. And so they did a great job. And one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to just remind you, we probably have kind of a feel. Passion and purpose are words that we use quite a bit, so you have a good feel for what they mean. But I have here on the screen, on your screen at home, we have the definitions. We have passion, a strong feeling of enthusiasm or excitement, either for something or about doing something. And that's the one we're talking about today. It's more our doing, it's more our being that we're talking about being passionate for. I can be passionate for gold, but it really doesn't do me much good, really, from the perspective of living a spiritual life. And then purpose, an abiding feeling of enthusiasm or excitement, either for something or about doing something. Oh, I'm sorry. Lost my place. An abiding intention to achieve a long-term goal that is personally meaningful. A long-term goal. So our purpose is not something that we plan on finishing by next week, right? This is long-term. This is, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And that purpose may change over your lifetime, but it doesn't change over your weeks, right? It doesn't change that fast. And so, I'm asking you to engage a little bit today in what is my personal passion? What is my personal purpose? And this morning in the meditation, I led the meditation this morning. And so we got an opportunity to ask Spirit this morning, what is my passion? How does that show up in our lives? And we don't have to be in meditation. We can think about it right here, right now. What do you think is your passion? What is it? When I think of passion, I think of fire, right? Think of something hot. It's got some energy to it. What is it that is in you that enlivens you? What is it that, puts fire to the things that you do? What is it that is wanting to give energy out into the world, to the people and those around you? Where is that passion showing up for you? So I have a question for you then. You know, it's kind of a simple question. You know, what are you on fire for? What are you on fire for? What is it? It's not going to taking a nap this afternoon. That's not a long-term passion thing. I might be looking for that after today, but it's not my passion. My passion's not to take a nap. I'll give you one of my passions. My passion is my ministry. My passion is knowing Spirit more fully in my life. My passion is being with people in such a way that they feel that aliveness within me. Right? Rev is life. Life is his passion, yeah.
The raising of my 2 daughters and nephew.
Yeah, raising of kids. That's a powerful passion. I'm on the other end of that passion now. My youngest son turned 22 yesterday. Yay. He's going to be a senior in college in just a couple of weeks. So, yeah, I'm on my other side of that now. But it was wonderful, and I had a passion for that too. I had to adopt my kids. They didn't come the easy way. It's hard adopting, Yeah. Who else has a passion? Animals, yeah. Yeah, I love my dog. Ganesh is wonderful. Yeah. Well, I've got some more passions. I mean, my husband is a passion. I met him 27, almost 28 years ago, and I still have that passion. It's a different passion, right? But it's still there. And something that's always lived within me is to bring something new and useful into the world. When I was a physicist, I was an applied physicist because I wanted to apply. I didn't just want to know. I wanted to bring it into the world, make something. And so I made new things. I have a patent, right? So, it was fun. It was exciting for me because I was able to take that and put it out into life, make it real. So, my passion, my purpose. I'd like to ask Reverend Mike. He's going to come up and tell us a little bit about what he knows about his passion and his purpose.
Thank you, Rev. I want to acknowledge our singers for bringing passion into the room today. Yes, indeed. Reminding me of what passion feels like. I could definitely hear it coming through both of you. And I want to acknowledge Lisa, too, for her story about her grandfather, about purpose, reminding me that I am somebody's purpose. I fulfill a purpose in someone's life, period. I want you to know I am so happy to be here today. The best part about prison ministry is that they close the door behind you and you're on the outside. I got a chance yesterday to do the final workshop for a private prison that's closing. We're closing the private prisons. I'm very passionate about that. I'm grateful that the private prisons are closing. I just am not in alignment with profiting off of mass incarceration. That's my personal passion. And so it was bittersweet because prison ministry was not something I was passionate about, but it led me to my purpose. The first time I went into prison, I didn't like the fact that they slammed the door behind you to remind you that you're in prison. And the deeper and deeper we went into the prison, I was like, well, how far we got to go in here, And I was wondering, well, what if something goes wrong? I could get shanked up in here, And somebody came over to me. They saw the trembling fear on my face, and they said, this your first time here? I said, yeah. They said, don't worry. Ain't nothing going to happen. That was in 2009, and nothing has happened except I have it's been revealed to me my purpose and that my passion is to set the prisoners free, whether they be in the free world or whether they be having the experience of incarceration. Because what I've learned is that some souls go to the Himalayas to be with God. Some souls go into the darkest depths of prison to be with God. And in there they reveal a light for others who need to see the light in themselves. And so I'm grateful for this prison experience having revealed to me my purpose. But one of the things that I know about purpose and passion in their relationship is I took my wife out for her birthday. We went out to Long Beach. She loves the water. She's a Cancer, so she loves the water. So she wanted to go on a boat ride. So we got a boat, and she wanted to go see the Queen Mary. We had family members. My grandson was with us and his new sweetheart. And, they have that passion thing going on. That helped me and my wife because we've been together over 40 years, and sometimes the fire gets a little dim, You forget what it was like, And we just had a great time. But what I learned is that when you're on this boat out there and you see someplace you want to go, there's undercurrents. Underneath the boat, there's currents that kind of take you somewhere where you didn't think you were going. So you have to constantly adjust the boat. And then there's this thing called boundaries, because if you get too close to another boat, then what will happen is that its wake will cause you to start doing some rocking, and then you'll end up going in a direction that you had not planned. And you might find out that that direction is okay. Like, hey, let's go down here and check this out and see what this is about, That's the way my purpose has unfolded. And so we saw the Queen Mary, and we thought, hey, it'd be a great idea. Let's go look at the Queen Mary up close. Because we saw these little figures, little people up there on the deck, and we thought, let's go over there. As we got closer and closer to the Queen Mary, what we discovered is that we were in the water with other boats, big boats. I mean, big boats. So we had to kind of, change our direction, and then these boats left away. And then as we start getting farther and farther out into the harbor, like the water started getting like really big. You know what really big water is like? When you realize you're in the ocean, you're no longer in the harbor, you're in the ocean, right? And it started getting a little crazy out there. And everybody on the boat was looking at me with eyes big as quarters, we can go back now. And so then we turned around and we started going back, and then these big old waves that had been like kind of making us a little, scared, those waves actually started carrying us back into the calmness of the inner harbor. And then we found ourselves going, merrily, 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 merrily. Life is like a dream. We were just kind of floating with the current, going into where the bridge was, where the LA River comes into the Long Beach Harbor, and there's calm waters there. Someone's painted a mural on the side of one of the bridge extensions, and then there's shade there, and it's very calm and very peaceful. And we thought, hey, maybe this is our purpose, to just chill. And so instead of going somewhere, we decided to just enjoy where we were in the moment. And we shared stories. We celebrated my wife. And I had to tell my famous story about the night I saw my wife. I had a partner, he and we used to go to the club. This was before my ministry days, so don't judge. We used to go to the club to catch, right? So we were too cheap to go in the club, so we stayed in the parking lot, right? And so we see these young women walking. It was about 7 of them, right? And she was in the front. And she walked with a purpose. The way she walked, she just carried herself in a way. And I said, And then my friend Billy said, that one's mine. I said, yeah, right, And I did what we used to do back in those days. Hey, can I get your number? Passion was ignited. That's right. And Spirit had a purpose. Spirit had a purpose. We saw something in one another that was extraordinary, and we decided to stay. And I think that's what passion and purpose do for us, right? They ignite that fire in our heart, like our heart starts to sing, and then we say, maybe there's something here. And then it builds, and it builds, and it builds. And then it'll take you down, different little streams and, forwards and currents until you begin to realize, hey, I think that I am in my purpose because I'm being carried along by a fire in my heart. My heart is singing. Life is good. I'm enjoying this. And Ahiah is my purpose. People ask me, Reverend Mike, how come you go spend so much time at prison and it takes you away from the service? And I share with them, the prison is Ahiah. Ahiah is the prison. Ahiah is the I am that I am. And so this entire planet is Ahiah. The people who live under the bridge, they're Ahiah. The people who are having the experience of being unhoused in our community, they are Ahiah. We are Ahiah. It's everywhere present. And so my ministry and my purpose and passion is to carry the message to set the prisoners free. And it's a very simple formula. There is a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, Rev. Thank you, family.
All right. So this week's talk title is Passion Points to Purpose, right? The 3 Ps. We got a lot of those 3 Ps in this philosophy, And, it begs the question, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? When I talk to people over the years, that question, it leads to consternation. People, when I ask them what their purpose is, there's a lot of stuttering that happens. Not quite sure. And so, today, we want to take that on just a little bit. What is my purpose? What is the passion that leads to my purpose? And one of the things I know about purpose is it's not stagnant, right? There's no stagnation in purpose. Purpose is this moving, living thing, and it's fueled by our passion. It gets moving not because the purpose is so great, but because we have passion for that purpose, right? It's the passion that moves us along. I think it's a little bit harder today for people to kind of latch on to what their purpose is than it was maybe like 100 years ago. I wasn't alive 100 years ago, but what I've read, what I've seen, what I know about society in those days was, we played smaller in those days, right? There weren't so many options to us. Your purpose might have been defined by who your parents were. Based on your caste, the amount of money you have, did they have a business that they had ran, that they'd had in the family for generations? Your purpose might end up getting tied up into that, whether or not your passion was associated with it or not. Right? And one of the problems is that when we attach our purpose to something that doesn't have our passion, we become a little hollow, I think. We don't really have that pump in our step, We end up starting to do motions because they're the motions that are needed to do whatever we're doing. But when we have a connection between our purpose and our passion, there's fire there, right? There's fire. And, hopefully you're not afraid of fire, because I'm going to talk about fire a lot today, right? To me, fire is magical. fire is expressive. When I was a kid in Alaska, I remember watching the fire in the fireplace. We always had it in the wintertime. We always had a fire going in the fireplace. It was our heat source. And so, I remember just sitting there and watching it, and I was fascinated by fire. And I think, when we have fire in our lives, it enlivens us. It makes us, more than we would be without it. So today, versus 100 years ago, today we have more freedom to choose what we're going to do with our lives, how we're going to show up in our lives, what is important to us. That's more of our own choice. But, sometimes it's so expansive. There's so many choices, we get stuck a little bit. What is my purpose? What do I find that's mine? How do I find it? Well, the good news is that we can find our purpose by looking at our passion, right? Because our passion points to purpose. So let's talk a little bit about our passion. How do you find your passion? You look for the fire, right? Look for the fire. What is it that sets you on fire? Now, maybe you're not finding any fire right now. If you don't have the fire, look for the smoke, right? Because where there's smoke, there is fire. And where that smoke is, there's a little jewel. That jewel that's been placed there by Spirit. As Reverend Mike was saying, before we had a name, we had a passion. We had a passion that was all our own. And I guarantee you that what Spirit puts inside of us can never go out. You can dump as much water on that jewel as you want, but that passion will never go out. So, if you find a little smoke, you found the jewel. What do you do then? Well, we need to get it to flame. We need to get it to heat up. Because, there ain't no cooking without the heat, right? If you're walking around and your passion is low, you're not cooking anything. And today, we got a potluck. I hope something's cooking out there, right? So, how do you find our purpose from our passion? If we go out, we find the smoke or we find the flames, well, I think the thing we need to do is we need to imagine. I was thinking about this week, and I was thinking about writing. I've been thinking about writing for a while. I have a book inside of myself, right? It's been sitting there for a long time. So I've been thinking about that book, and I was thinking about passion and writing a book. How are they the same? How is it that purpose, and writing a book are the same? Well, if you have a book, you think about writing a book, what do you need? What are you going to be thinking about? Well, you're going to be thinking about ideas for the book. They're going to be coming to you here and there, everywhere. Hopefully you write those down, right? Because they go away after a while if you don't. So you write those ideas down. And you think about characters that you might put into your book. Let's say it's a novel, right? You're going to think about characters. You're going to think about the motivations of those characters. Why are they doing what they're doing? Whatever you're going to have them do, why are they doing that? And you might think a little bit about some plot twists. How do you keep it interesting? It's the same with our purpose. We have those types of things. But I want you to note something. There is no book until you start to write it. Right? You can think about that book. You can think about all the wonderful things you would say in that book. You can think about the characters. You can think about all of that. There is no book until you write it. It's same with our purpose. Same with our purpose. We can sit here and think about our purpose all day long. If we think about our purpose, we're going to get some ideas about what it is, right? We're going to get some who's. Who's involved in my purpose? You know, all those characters out there that are in my purpose, who are they? I might think about their motivations. I might think about my motivation. I might think about how I would get other people motivated into my purpose. I might even think of, you know, the corollary of a plot twist, right? How do I get people involved? How do I make it interesting? There is no purpose until you start working it. There is no purpose until you start living it. There is no purpose until we take those steps to enliven that purpose in our life. Make it personal. Make it about you. Make it about your passion. When Lisa talked about her grandfather today, that was a passion. That was a passion that led to a purpose. And you can tell because it became all-encompassing for him. Purpose, when you have passion for it, purpose, it becomes the top thing in your life. You wrap and you let Spirit wrap everything around what you're doing. Right? So, what about your purpose? How does your purpose fit into that? Or what about your passion? 2 P words, it's messing me up. What about your passion? How does your passion fit into your purpose? If you don't have your passion in there, it's not really alive. It's like a book, right? Have you ever read a book there was no passion in the book, right? And you're sitting there going, oh, God, another page, right? And you're sitting there wondering, why on the world did they even write this book? Our passion, our purpose without a passion is the same way. If we have a purpose and we don't have passion with it, it's like a book that really, doesn't have any juice to it. And so, whatever you think your purpose is in this moment, I want you to ask yourself, I want you to ask yourself this. Do you want a little fire with that? Right? Do you want to add a little bit of your energy into that? Do you want to, get out the bellows and start really getting a hot fire going for whatever that is? If the answer is no, not your purpose. Go find a different purpose. Go find something that you can attach your purpose to, your passion to your purpose. So, if there's only smoke to your passion, what do you do then? What are we going to do if I only have smoke? Well, firefighters call it an accelerant. Right? We hear this when they talk about arsons. They use this accelerant on it. All that means is they poured gas on the flames, right? Sometimes we need to add a little bit of accelerant to to our passion, to get it to flare, give it a little bit more oomph. And so, here's some ideas of how you can help to fan those flames on your passion, get them to burn a little hotter. First one is, to nurture your fire, your passion. How do you nurture it? Well, first of all, you pay attention to it, right? Just like any other thing that wants to grow, it's going to need your attention. So you want to fan your flames by engaging with that passion, recognizing that it's your passion, coming back to it over and over and over again, every day, many times a day. Say to yourself, this is my passion. What can I do right now to enliven my passion some more? And number two, set yourself some goals around this purpose, this passion. Right? Sitting on the couch probably ain't one. Do something. Take some action towards it. Take a class. Read a book. Do some sort of activity that is connected to it. It will help to fan the flames of your passion. It will help to move your purpose forward. And then, last of all, explore new territory. It is hard to be encouraged, to be enlivened, to be excited about doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? So go find, if you're an artist, go find some new art to go look at. If you're a writer, read a new book. If you're passionate about prison ministry, well, then actually go find something out about it. Right? Whatever it is, your passion, your purpose, go explore some new territory around that. Now, last of all, because this is a center for spiritual living, right? Everything I've said so far, you could have your psychotherapist tell you. But I'm going to tell you something that he's not going to tell you or she's not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you to turn it over to Spirit. Turn it over to Spirit. Sometimes we don't know how to fan that flame. Turn it over to Spirit. Sometimes we don't know what our purpose is. Turn it over to Spirit. Ernest Holmes, our founder, says, as we turn our thoughts to God, our desires and passions become purified and harmonized with the divine flow, leading us toward our highest good. The divine flow, what is that? Well, the divine flow to me is that creativity that Spirit is, that is just going to reflect back to me what I think. It is the mirror that reflects back what I think, what I feel, what my emotions are. And as I allow Spirit to come more and more in my life, as I allow myself to harmonize what I want, what I think, what I feel, what my intentions are, so that they're in alignment with the love and the peace and the joy and the harmony and all that God is, then Spirit just enwraps itself around us. It enfolds us into it. The entire world, when this happens, the world feels like we are the center of the world. Like everything's happening for us. And so the universe supports us. It shows up in all the things that we're doing. I know personally when life becomes easy, when life becomes simple, when things just start happening on their own, boy, I know I've aligned myself with Spirit then. I know I've turned it over and I've quit letting my mind, my ego self, telling me how to line up everything, how to get what I need and what I want. I'm letting Spirit take over. We always have choice. Spirit gives us that choice. And when I can stand in that place and I see and I know that Spirit is engaged, as it always is, but I recognize it, I stand there in confidence. Right? Isn't that a beautiful feeling? When you're there, you're standing in confidence. Well, we get to do that. We get to stand in our confidence. And so I have an affirmation for you. It's here on our screen. Let's read it together. I express my passion confidently. Let's say that one more time. I express my passion confidently. So as you go out into your week this week, what are you on fire about? Ask yourself that. Take some notes. What am I on fire about? And then, remember the passion points to purpose. And so I want to go out and I want to make sure that all the things that are attached to my purpose, I have some fire with it. Do you want some fire with that? If I'm answering no, go find a different purpose. It's not your purpose then. Okay? And then write out your passion. It will define, just like a book, write out that passion, allow it to then define your purpose. And writing down and then living, in this case, living your purpose, you will live, or living your passion, you will live your purpose. It'll be natural. Turn it over to God, right? And last of all, if any of this is confusing, it's okay. Because all we need to do is just let Spirit guide you. Thank you, and namaste. Jengus, you want to play really low underneath the prayer? Yeah. So I just invite you to come along with me as I know that I know that I know this life, this power, this presence that Spirit is. Moving in as and through me and as and through you and as and through the entire universe. It is the love, it is the peace, it is the joy, it is the harmony, it's the balance, wisdom, intelligence, and clarity. It is all that it creates out of into our lives. And it does it with ease. It does it with grace. It does it with us knowing this life is right here in our corner. And so as I know that to be true for myself, as I know that this life, this power, this presence that God is moving through me and as me, through you and as you, I know absolutely that we are fully supported by the love and the peace and the joy that God is. And so it's from that place of knowingness that I speak my word as the truth of each and every one of us, both myself, those of you here, those of you online, knowing absolutely that there is a fire. There's a fire, there's a passion that lives within us. It was this jewel that was put into our hearts at the very beginning of time. And that jewel, that passion that we have, it erupts into flame because we give it some air, we give it some oxygen, we give it the ability and the fuel that it needs in our life to show up, to create, to be. And I know that as we do that, Spirit just enwraps and enfolds the entire world around us in all the ways that we need. And so we live the life that we came here to live. We live the life that is sometimes the way we think of it as the life of our dreams. We live the life that is just the right life for me, for you, for everyone. For knowing that truth, I just give thanks. And I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. And I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. And so now is the time for our conscious contributions. And so if you'll just, if you're here, there are offering envelopes in the pews. You can put your conscious contribution in that, and we'll have the ushers coming around with a little gold pan. If you did not get one of the blue tickets, you can tell them at that time, and they'll make sure you get a blue raffle ticket for bringing a friend or being here for the first time. And then for those of you who are online, there are 3 ways of giving. You can go to ahiah.com/donate, or you can text to give, or you can always send a check in to Ahiah at this address. However you give, let's go ahead and take that virtual gift to our hearts. And let's say this blessing together. It's showing up on your screen. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share my gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen. And so, Connie, Karen, take it away.
Thank you, Reverend Scott.
S-T-O-P-P-I-N, ain't no. S-T-O-P-P-I-N, ain't no. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got the groove. There's been so many things that have held us down, and now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're getting ourselves together, we're polishing up our act, yeah. And if you've ever been held down before, I know that you'll refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing stand in your way, yeah. I want y'all to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got the groove. We've got it. All right. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. We're on the move. I really, really got the groove. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got the groove. Ain't that right, y'all? Now I know you know someone that has a negative vibe, and if you're trying to make it, they only push you aside. They really don't have nowhere to go. Ask them where they're going, they don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're getting ourselves together, we're polishing up our act, yeah. And if you've ever been held down before, I know that you refuse to be held down anymore, yeah. Don't you let nothing stand in your way, yeah. I want y'all to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. Come on, y'all. We're on the move. I really, really got the groove. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got the groove, we got the groove. Hey, come on now. Ain't no stopping us now. I I know it. We're on the move. We're on the move. Ain't no stopping us now. We got the groove. All right, come on, let's break it down. I don't want to stop. Please don't make me stop. I don't want to stop. Please don't make me stop. Make me stop, no. I want to stop. Please don't make me stop. Come on now. I don't want to stop. Please don't make me stop. S-T-O-P-P-I-N. Ain't no. That's right now. S-T-O-P-P-I-N. Ain't no. That's right, y'all. Ain't no stopping us. S-T-O-P-P-I-N. Ain't no. S-T-O-P-P-I-N. Ain't no.
Ain't no stopping us now. Absolutely. Oh, I know some other people that ain't stopping. We got some kids. We got some youth. They're coming up here. They're not stopping now. Want to give us a little music, Jengus? A little welcome music for our kids. Yeah. Come on up. No, they're coming all the way up. Yep. Come on up. Yay.
Good morning. I think we should give him an applause. We had some new friends with us today that we enjoyed also. And this is unrehearsed, but Alejandro would like to tell you what we did today.
What we did today is we talked about faith and loving ourselves and other people, because if you don't love yourself, you don't love other people.
Thank you. That was beautifully said. I just have a couple of announcements that on August 27th, we're going to have our passageway ceremony, which is my favorite Sunday. And what happens is that we will be honoring and introducing each member of our youth program. And they'll come up one at a time with a candle, and I will tell you a little bit about them. And then we will, Reverend Scott will facilitate just a blessing and a prayer for their new school year. And what we do before we come up stage is that we're going to choose a word this year of what we want to experience and what we want to give. So that's it from us today. Thank you.
All right, a few announcements. I know there is food back there, so I'm going to blaze through these. If you're watching online, you get to stop and see the slide, but something quick? Oh, absolutely. Thank you to all of our volunteers. They're wonderful. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Rachel. So we have Friends and Family Day today, right? And we talked about getting your ticket, so make sure you have your ticket. First prize is a $50 gift certificate, and we have another prize, which is a beautiful blue bowl. So we're going to be giving those two away. And then today, after we're done with the potluck, maybe 1:15, maybe just a little bit after that, we're going to do our balancing mind and energy with energy healing, right? So we're going to be balancing using the masculine energy. We did the feminine energy last month. We're doing the masculine energy this month. Sky, you want to just wave for a second? This is Sky. If you don't know her, she's our facilitator. She's done a wonderful job, and she's here every month through the end of the year. I also want to remind you, if you or to tell you if you don't know, Deborah and Janet Landry's mom has passed, and so we're doing celebrating her life. It is not here. It's instead at the Arnold Family Funeral Services, which is in Altadena, California. So it is on the 18th at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you want to support Deborah and Janet, or if you knew Thelma, please, get this information and go ahead and go there. It's in our newsletter too, okay? And then if you're being called to volunteer, and you go, well, why would I volunteer? Well, there's a lot of reasons to volunteer. One is that it's always made me feel good to volunteer. And so it's a way of getting better connected into our community. It's a way of you getting to know other people and us getting to know you. So if you're interested in volunteering in any form, any capacity, this workshop that we're doing next week is the way to do it. Come on down. Jackie O's going to be facilitating the time together. I'll be there. We'll chat about all the different ways that we can volunteer, and so it's next week after service, okay? And then we have partnered up with Leah. She's doing a kirtan. They're going to be doing it each month. Now, how many of you guys have been to a kirtan? I've been to several, right? These are wonderful, wonderful ways of recharging your battery. It is time where you're spent in music and chanting. She's also got someone doing a sound bath with bowls afterwards. So you can click here with your camera to get the QR code, and that'll take you to Eventbrite. And, it'll be right here at 4 o'clock on the 20th. Passageways, she just talked about that. We are also, that same week, this is on the 27th, we're having an ice cream social that is a fundraiser for our teenagers to help them go to teen camp. We also have a men's group meeting that's here that same day, so we're going to be doing a lot of stuff that day. This is on the 27th, and we're focusing on the men's group around mentoring. So if you want to mentor other men, you're feeling needing to find a mentor, this is a place for you to check out. We have 2 classes. We got self-mastery coming in. It starts on the 14th of September. That's taught by Marcia and Kelly. You need to have taken Foundations level class. That's either Foundations or Beyond Limits to take this one. But the good news is, if you haven't taken that yet, I'm doing a Foundations class starting on the 19th. And then after that, we've got Dr. Daniel coming back. He was here earlier this year. People loved him. He's coming back. He is a intuitive psychologist, and he's also branching out into more channeling. So the work that he's going to be doing with us is coming from both of those arenas. So that's the September 17th, okay? And we have prayer and conversation. We have book study. We got Healing Circle. And I just want to remind you of our practitioners who are here today. Reverend Mike and I are always practitioners, right? I saw Myrna in the back. I know Frederick is over here, but he has to leave. Who else is our practitioners here today? Okay. Well, they were all here last week. So we would be happy to pray with you. We also have online ministry, and we have dial-up prayer. So I want to go ahead and ask our singers to come up, and they're going to do our last congregational.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit
let's say our benediction together. It's showing on our screen. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all of my affairs. I accept it. I am it. And I share it. Just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. It's been wonderful being here with you today. Remember, we've got goodies in the not in the sanctuary, in the fellowship hall. So come on back, get some food, and Rev Mike will pray in our food, and we'll just have a good time. And then afterwards, we have the workshop. I love you guys. I'll see you next week.